All right, so Becky wants to go over a little bit here.
Yeah.
So Phoenix just said to Maya that the murderer in this case had the same idea or was in the same spot as the murderer from the previous case, which was the Steel Samurai, in which the actual murderer turned out to be the victim because he was going to kill the woman who had blackmailed him for all those years, and he accidentally fell on a spike.
Yeah.
Or was it that she had pushed him? She somehow pushed him, I think, which is ridiculous off of the thing, and
either way, it had to do with revenge.
It had to do with revenge, and it had to do with the victim being the murderer.
Yeah.
Is that what Phoenix is getting at here?
I don't know.
Well, let's pursue it. See what's
that's
happening.
Just what I wanted to throw out there that I was thinking about.
The testimony just now has cleared up the entire case.
Bravo.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself.
You're wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting.
Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on the lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on the boat.
He didn't necessarily die on the boat. Like, I don't know what happened here, though.
There was a gunshot that fired on the boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it's hard to imagine any other possibility.
Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
We have a photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The testimony on the stamp says that it's 0:15, but Larry heard the gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. So wait, it's two other parties out on the lake? That was the only way that Edgeworth could have been innocent. Could be innocent is what he's saying to himself. Okay.
Maybe someone shot at something that they thought was Gordy, and then somebody fell in the lake.
Let's not get too speculative yet. We can barely do it when we're working like one piece of evidence ahead of time.
Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who this is, sitting on the boat.
The murderer and Hammond. Edgeworth and the
Edgeworth
murderer.
and the murderer.
Well, let's think this through.
If we're thinking that Hammond died 25 minutes earlier, then he can't be on the boat.
Yes, assuming, okay, so they wouldn't fuck with us and say that the time on the camera was wrong.
No, the time on the camera isn't
No,
wrong.
I'm just saying, let's set that aside.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with you. So. Come on.
Settle down,
There's no
baby
time,
Hank.
baby Hank. Okay. So, you're, the murder before was the victim died 25 minutes earlier. That's fact. Then, right?
Okay.
That's what you just said.
Yeah, and Hammond is the guy that was murdered.
And Hammond was the person who was murdered. So, he couldn't have been on that boat for this second shot. So, it has to be Edgeworth and the murderer. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying it. I'm just trying to like put it.
I'll
let
said
you
it
do it
slower.
next time. What I wanted to do though is get back to the. Doesn't matter. I'll trust you next time. I'll let you explain it. Of course, it was Edgeworth, then the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. This is a pretty crazy theory,
this
Phoenix.
is pretty ridiculous.
We didn't come to that conclusion.
No, not at all.
What evidence has told you that he was disguised?
well
What?
enough
Are
so
you
that they could
serious?
meet and row out into the middle of a lake.
Yeah.
Is Phoenix coming to this conclusion because he's assuming that Edgeworth would have been telling the truth? Because Edgeworth did say that he met with Hammond. So Phoenix is assuming that
Oh, that's what he's
he must have been
basing it on?
duped if he said that.
Okay, I thought that came out of, like, the blue.
That's the only way that Phoenix can come to this conclusion. Is
Okay.
if, yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. The night Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. Wait, where? When did we get... How did we... When did they say... When did Edgeworth say that he didn't know
Yeah.
Hammond's face that well?
Yeah.
Or is
Maybe
it...
it's because it happened, like, 15 years ago.
So it's just an
and-
assumption. All right.
Yeah, I guess.
This is another little annoying thing about Phoenix,
Yeah,
right?
that's a little bit of...
Is when Phoenix goes off on this thing and you're like, I don't feel like we got the opportunity as players to come to that conclusion before the character came to that conclusion. Anyways, that's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this.
So, yeah.
Ludicrous! Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then.
The murderer's name? Right. It's... I don't know. I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know? Bah, again you waste my time!
Why wasn't Von Karma a choice? I don't know because he never told us.
Oh, assuming it's dude.
The murderer is the
Yogi.
caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond.
The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out onto the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest the real scene of this crime was not in a boat?
What? Well then, where did the murder take place?
Uh-oh. Show the judge where it took place.
I'm guessing his house.
Yeah.
Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop. There?
I guess.
Well, I mean, you know, why not him as the murderer?
Yeah.
He was the one that we have already pinned, like we've kind of decided he was the one who got oxygen deprivation in that elevator. He's the murderer who got off innocent way back when. What could this mean? Hammond was the defense attorney.
He's the one who got him freed,
Got
though.
him free. Why would the guy who was freed by that lawyer, why would he want to kill his own lawyer who got him off? I guess, so we're assuming that he really was guilty, at least.
Yeah.
All we know, okay, I'm just going to put out the facts that we know,
Okay.
that we think we know. The guy in the elevator was crazy old man. Oxygen deprived, made him a little kooky. There were only 3 people in that elevator. The victim, little Edgeworth,
Father and
who
son.
probably didn't kill his dad, and the guy who was going crazy in the photo, in the memory, even though that's not a photo that was available. I like that that's in evidence, or like that's that photo.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever seen that scene. Anyways, he met with the defense attorney that got him off innocent in what case again? The DL6,
DL6.
incident,
That was the DL6 that you were referring to.
which also happens to involve Maya and Mia and their
Yeah.
mother,
Yeah.
which I guess we'll find out about later. So anyways, so that's why it makes sense that this guy could be a murderer, because he might have already been a murderer. But why would he kill his own attorney?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy, I'm just spelling out the evidence. I'm just trying to, like, make sure we're all on the same page here. That's all I'm getting at. Even Becky looks at me confused when I do this. I'm just putting point form.
Just
what we
spouting it
know.
out
Yeah.
there.
I want to make sure we all have the facts. That way, he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing.
Do you have any proof that it was in the boat shop the scene of the crime? Okay.
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will.
No one was on the boat. He went out.
That night, he was out on the lake searching for something. He finds it, returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by.
Just continue.
That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Who can say that somebody can hear a gunshot only when it's close by or can hear it when it's far away? That doesn't prove anything. Like, have you ever heard a gunshot before? I haven't. I wouldn't know whether I could hear it with headphones on or not. Anyways, and where would that have been if he hadn't just returned the boat? Guns are loud, headphones would drown it out. However, it was just presented within the same case that he could have heard it on the lake because there was no music playing at the time. They already went over that. If it was undisputable that one could not hear a gunshot on a lake when someone's on shore, then why wasn't that brought up way earlier and said he couldn't have? He was on shore, right? You can't hear with headphones that far away. I'm just saying. Anyways.
The boat shop.
Bravo.
I like how the chat. I know, guys. I'm talking about the opposite of what you're talking about right now. And I like how you're all acting as though you're gunshot experts. Like you've all heard a gunshot with headphones on before, both from far away and up close.
Yeah.
Game's right. Ben, right now. What the fuck is with your laughing? Yeah.
It's the only way I can laugh, asshole.
We need sleep. All right.
What happened that night on Gold Lake?
I heard a gunshot while fucking a girl once. Poor Ben. Stop being mean to Fraser. If they think your laugh means that you're being mean to me. I think Ben's delirious.
Fuck you, chat.
No, I'm soaking this in. What do you got to say, chat? I've heard a gunshot with headphones while fucking a girl.
Isn't that what the other person said? Oh, with headphones.
I fucked a girl with a gun once.
Nice. I like how Traken just said it in a way that's basically everybody's parodying people who say things like what Traken just said, and he's not realizing it. He said, if you look at the evidence, they said it was a 22, which is pretty darn quiet as far as guns go. Thanks for educating us.
It's true, though.
I could pull one together and put it back together while masturbating. All right. Please, sorry, buddy. I'm fully aware, for sure.
Period.
All right.
Please tell the quote from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyways, I'm spending some time on this because we're going to go through the whole Phoenix Wright series, and you guys need to be kind of prepared for a lot of these moments. There's going to be these moments where it just goes 180 on you, and you're like, we weren't involved in that, like, that twist. We feel as though, we weren't allowed to be a part of it, kind of. Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, are you sure about this?
Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. I wore a gun as headphones while firing a girl.
That's a good one.
That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop.
Why?
None of this. This isn't fair. I want to be a part of the case solving, Phoenix.
Yeah.
This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. Why would he even need to put on his coat?
Yeah.
If, we've established that he wouldn't even recognize him, period. He became Robert Hammond.
By putting on his coat.
Because Edgeworth would only remember his coat.
From 15 years ago.
Guys, remember, this is all coming from a guy who loves Phoenix Wright, all right? I grill it because I love it. Then he got into the boat with Edgeworth and went out onto the middle of the lake.
Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
The boat shop caretaker.
The boat shop caretaker. Wait.
Because it was with the left hand. Edgeworth fell in the water.
But he
Wait.
would have had to have been shot.
And Edgeworth
No.
picked up the gun afterwards.
And he picked
Oh,
up the
yeah.
gun afterwards, and he...
Who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? You think Edgeworth?
Miles wouldn't have shot it. Why would he have shot it?
Yeah, well, because he wanted to kill.
Here, put yourself in
Hammond?
Phoenix's shoes. Come up with wild scenarios now.
Because you wanted
Go
to
ahead.
kill Hammond because he got the person who killed your father off.
So you think that Miles Edgeworth
I don't think he would.
isn't
though.
a murderer, but he was an attempted murderer?
That's
That's
the
not much better.
only thing that I can put together.
How about the boat shopkeeper was the one who fired the shot to frame Edgeworth? Fired a shot, missed Edgeworth, dropped the pistol, fell back into the water.
Was it ever clarified that they saw the person without the gun falling into the water?
Yeah, they never said which person fell in. They just said a person fell in.
Because I feel like they've been tricky with that.
I'm gonna say it wasn't Miles though, just because being an attempted murder makes him no better, and we're trying to get him off for murder.
The caretaker shoots the gun. Edgeworth falls in the water. The caretaker falls in the water. Edgeworth gets back in the boat, picks up the gun, and wonders what happened.
You heard it here first, folks. Let's see if this ends up being right. That's a Phoenix Wright theory. All right. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
In
Wait
order
a
to
minute.
frame him.
Yes.
Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details.
Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer shot twice.
To create a witness?
Maybe, but how would he know there was somebody else
Yeah.
around?
To shoot,
Well-
to get somebody to look. Then he shot again to show the splashdown.
Yeah, but how would he know that there
Maybe-
was someone around to see it?
Maybe he knew that Lotta was there. Lotta Hurt was there
Yeah.
for.
But how did he know?
Because he spends all his time at the lake.
I guess.
And she was right around the
It makes
corner from
sense,
him.
but it's just...
I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness.
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first shot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Okay, another thing. If Lotta Hart's camera was set to take photos with every shot, why didn't it take 3? Oh, it needs to be reset after every time it's taken, or it takes a photo. That's
Right.
why. So after the first shot earlier
Ah,
that night,
yeah.
we have an empty lake. She reset it and got it set up
And
again.
then got
Then she
one
only
of
got
these
the
shots.
got
first
one of these, but
these.
didn't
But-
get the second.
The first of these.
She got the first of these on camera,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
the second
yeah,
one
yeah,
didn't get caught. That's why there's not 3 photos.
yeah. Okay.
Caltrex says it took 3, and I swear to fucking God if it did. Oh, by the way, y'all, I took 3 photos.
She comes in and gets on the witness stand.
Bet you want one of these, don't you?
This is highly irregular.
This is regular.
I didn't tell you about this photo because I didn't really want to go back to university or something. The murderer waits a bit, then fires again. Then
The murderer jumps from the boat.
the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once he realized that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body. Then he threw the body into the lake. Then he did a dance, twirled around for a little bit, whistled, got a sandwich. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired on Gourd Lake. Why do we love this game so much?
Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly!
And he fucked his parrot, says Duncan.
Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand.
Gosh, Edgeworth, I don't suppose you ever,
Yeah,
saw the guy shoot at you and then fall into the lake, or...
You heard what the defense has said?
Yes.
Well, what did you go to the lake? Why did you go to the lake that night?
What Wright has said is mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. We could have used this info!
Oh, you're a dickhead.
The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake that midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Wubba-dubba-dub, is that true? I believe that. I'm sorry. I can't say what it was.
Seems you're a lying.
Your Honor, sir!
Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I asked you.
That you remain quiet. He just asked him to go get... The witness has disappeared! He isn't in the boat shop either!
What?
They should have.
What should I do?
Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away.
That's the end of today's trial till we find him, I guess.
Mr. Montgomery, your witness has disappeared. Search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that we cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial another day till tomorrow, final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all forces to find that witness. Am I understood?
Wow. The judge's pissed.
One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned.
Oh, the safe code might actually be good now.
1228 or 1227?
I
thought it was 1227, but someone in the chat said it.
I'm sure Maya would have taken notes.
Nick, you did it!
Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict.
Yeah, man.
What about the Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to think of his testimony. Larry really helped us out.
Sure. Once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time.
I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's on us on trial instead of our clients.
Hey, Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Did you say something?
Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax.
I'm sorry. But I fear it's not over for me yet. My parents are dead! What do you mean? Right. There's something that has been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. How about you do? Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get off my chest, but... Fraser, you're assuming the court has taken Phoenix theory as proof. They haven't. They're simply exploring the possibility that he might be right. It's really far-fetched, I know, but you gotta roll with it. Yep. I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth?
Did he kill his pop-pop?
You know, the other thing, too, on that same note, out of all the times for Von Karman to step in and be like, this is ludicrous, I demand an end to the trial now, why not that last moment at the end where the judge was saying, you know, get that witness and stuff? It just seems weird that he was just so quiet. Maybe he was, knew it was useless.
Good, he didn't kill his pop-pop.
It's a nightmare I've had. Oh, you thought that he was
No, I
a
didn't
memory
really.
of a crime that I committed? A crime you committed? A memory of a murder.
Oh my god.
What?
Squawk!
Alright, let's finish this fucking case. We'll be on to our third day of trial and investigations after this. Stay tuned, everybody.